Welcome to Witches of Workshop, a writing community podcast. I'm Lauren.
I'm Caroline, and this is where we brew better stories together. So if you want to be critiqued on the podcast, just send 1 to 10 pages and a synopsis to witchesofworkshop@gmail.com. Without further ado, let's get started. I think we can open with a sponsor, which is that this podcast is brought to you by spiraling. We're only doing a lot of it, but everything's fine. Lots of coping, and spiraling means lots of singing.
You know, look, we got to do what we got to do. I was alone with my children for an obscene 19 days.
Are you serious?
That's how long break was, I think.
Sounds right to me.
I think that was. Because Rocco was complaining, and I was like, Rocco, you were home for an insane amount of time. And then you back to work.
To work, which I'd been working, but just at home. And they're,
it's different.
More chill.
It's different.
And now everyone's like, they come back and they're all like, well, let's get things started. I'm like, so I've been working. So
my favorite little meme that I've seen across the interwebs is somebody saying, oh God, they're all circling back.
No, literally. But yeah, we need to talk about what's fun life
brewing.
We've complained enough.
Yeah, there's got to be something fun happening.
There is something fun. Okay, I am finally getting on my Goodreads grind. Okay, I was never a hater. I just I don't know. It was like downloading Snapchat, where I was like, what's this for?
Why do I need a?
But because we talked about on a podcast a few weeks ago how many books I'd read the past year, I was like, I don't actually know because I don't keep track. And I was like, I want to keep track. And so I got on Goodreads, I followed some people, and I think it's going to help me also know what's coming out and what's current that is popular, because you can go on the Discover page and see what everyone's saving to read. So
I also just love it when I'm like, oh, a friend is reading that book. What perchance, would I like this book?
Exactly.
And a lot of the time I'm like, sure,
and
want to read it.
Would.
I also like it that it's not directly Amazon, because on Amazon I'd be like, well, I have to buy it, and here it's like a nice little list away where you're like, okay, let's check the library, let's see what has this book. I like it. Okay,
and
so you're Goodreads.
Archaic, like the platform, which I kind of like.
It is. They updated it and they just changed the lettering ever so slightly, and I'm like, and I like the very basic I've done this. Good. Okay, so you're Goodreads gal.
Goodreads gal. Hopefully, I'll actually know what I read at the end of the year. That's the hope and the goal and the dream.
I believe in you.
What's in your cauldron?
So I started, I'm taking 18 yoga classes in the month of January. So I started, I've already taken, what is it?
4 a week? Yeah. More than 4 a week.
Yeah.
But some weeks that'll be 5.
Yeah. So it's going to be a doozy, but, yes. And then I started journaling with this book called The Book of Alchemy, all over Instagram. And I'm a terrible journaler.
Same.
So, there's an essay. So there's essay, but all kinds of creatives, and then a little prompt, and all of the essays are short, like a page, 2 pages.
Perfect.
And then you get a little prompt, and it's very helpful.
Physical journal?
Okay. So, and she said you can do it anywhere. She's like, do where you please. If your phone app, she's like, but her philosophy is that the pen to paper, something about that. I also think it's easier to forget about it afterwards, which is another part of the thing. A good friend of mine gave me the best journaling advice, and she was like, actually, I never read what I wrote ever again. I don't self-edit it. I don't even go back up the page. She was like, you write it and it's gone. Yeah. And so I'm like, oh, so that's helped me a little bit, where I'm like, Lauren, this does not have to sound good.
Pressure off.
It's just this doesn't have to sound pretty. No one is literally ever going to read this. So
yeah.
So yeah.
Look at us.
We're in journaling.
Okay. These are such beginning of the year life updates.
Totally.
We're I'm working out, I'm reading, I'm journaling. We'll see how much we
keep
it up. Writing updates.
Go. What hit me?
Oh my gosh.
What you got?
I have something to tell you.
What?
I sent out my first query this week. I was waiting to tell her on the podcast.
Oh my God.
I ripped that Band-Aid off.
Yeah, you did.
So, I sent a couple to my pie in the sky dream agents, who you probably know who I'm talking about. I was like, they'll take forever and a day to get back to me, because I know their inboxes are going to be swamped. But it took me 2 business days after drafting the first query to even send it, because I was just reading it over and over and over and over. And then when I sent the first one, it was exactly like what you texted earlier, where I was like, "Oh, let's do another one."
Because
Let's do another one.
Why the heck not? You're just like, you know what? Oh, let's get
You
going.
know what? So that's my writing up there. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You're doing it.
We're doing it.
Okay.
My update.
You're on the journey.
And then we'll figure out the next thing. But I'm about to go on vacation. I'm going to try not to make myself think about writing if I don't want to.
Wise.
So
Bring
we'll
one
see.
of those good read books and
Yeah, and I'm going to read for fun and not necessarily like,
okay.
that's my writing. So that's what's going on.
I have nothing very exciting other than working on the new project.
Mm-hmm.
Agent has confirmed receipt of June and is very excited to read.
Yay.
We have a call in like a week and a half.
Perfect.
So I don't know if I doubt she'll read it in that time, but I'm anticipating edits from her. So I'm trying to enjoy writing the new thing, knowing that like I'll probably have to pump the brakes soon.
Revisions are coming.
Yeah,
that's
I feel
wise.
like it. I feel like it is
so,
happening.
Yeah, now it's feeling even better that you did start something, even though you're technically still working on something else, because there's always like pauses and
the waiting,
resuming.
I think that's
smart.
Yeah,
to be like kind of have two things going.
Yeah, but I can't. I don't think I can write two at the same time.
But
having
while one
like
is
a
waiting,
backup, right? Like having like a lull for one.
I think that's
lets
great.
the other happen. So
yeah.
Oh my gosh, that means you get to start something new too.
I sure do, and we'll figure that out.
Okay. Yeah.
I guess.
Hold, please.
Let my guess in.
All right. So we are so excited to welcome another genius friend to the podcast. Seriously, we do not use genius lightly, because the best thing you can do as a writer is surround yourself with people who know more than you.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And lo and behold, the more than me.
Oh my God.
The more than I know. So we're so excited to welcome, make sure I'm saying this right, Laura Dupuy.
Yep,
that's right.
Yeah.
Laura Dupuy. So not only does Laura Dupuy have the best t-shirt collection in DFW, she is a learned librarian, skilled writer, and all around one of the smartest people we know. As we have said many times, please give a witchy welcome to Laura May Dupuy. I also just love
Oh my God, thank you. Yeah, my name rhymes. It does.
All the way.
So poetic. It's in verse. Laura is also a member of the DFW Writers Workshop. Surprise, surprise. Welcome to the Witches of Workshop, Laura.
Oh my God, thank you. It's so nice to be here.
So happy to have you. Okay, we're later going to get into a very, very fun short story that we're going to workshop and talk about our notes for. But first we have some questions for you. You're such an interesting, fascinating individual.
I'm ready.
She's
I
like,
know.
I know.
I mean, you can say that. I can't say that, but I understand.
But you can agree. And you're like, but you were absolutely correct.
Okay, I like the way you worded this question.
Do I? Okay. First off, librarian. Is it the dream job we all imagine?
Do you just wear cardigans and drink tea all day? I know the answers.
I mean, I do both of those all day. That part is true.
Factual.
Yeah. I was about to say, like, what do you mean by dream? I don't sit around and read books all day, but I do wear cardigans and drink tea all day.
Okay.
Along with half of my coworkers. And the other half are drinking coffee. So that's spot on.
And what kind of tea are you drinking?
I am very susceptible to caffeine. So I have like an Earl Grey or something at the beginning of the day. And then we're switching to like peppermint, a bajillion different little herbal things.
Yeah. You're having the chamomile in the middle of the day.
Oh yeah. Just like the absolute terrifying like tea nests. Do y'all drink tea ever?
A little bit.
Okay. If you find a tea drinker in your life and ask to see their tea cabinet, it's going to be terrifying.
It is.
There's so many.
And
I want a picture.
Like I can't. Oh my gosh, I will find you one because you have to send yours too. Because it's literally like wherever you can stick another box or another
100%.
barrel. But okay, so the tea and cardigans, spot on.
Yeah, correct.
Also, you just finished going through even more school.
Yes. So now I'm a real librarian, not just someone who happens to work at one library.
So, like, is it a dream? I mean, you're not sitting around reading all day.
No, I'm not sitting around reading all.
For the dummies at home, who we love so much, who are like, what does a librarian actually do? Tell them. Because I know I think we all had that.
For the dum-dums.
It's
Who
me.
shall
I'm
remain
Dum Dum.
nameless, but it might be me.
It's me. I'm Dum Dum. And I was like 10. I was like, I want to be a librarian
Yeah.
because like the tea and the cardigans and the cats. I'm like,
Yeah.
check, check, check. And then I learned one, you need a master's immediately.
Yeah.
Secondly, I was like, numbers and cataloging immediately. No.
Yeah.
So that's about all I know. Tell me more. What's it like?
I mean, so there are a ton of things that go into it, but everything that you're thinking about, like getting books, movies, a lot of places are doing like different services or library of things where you can like check out a hotspot or a power wash or stuff like that. So providing stuff basically as like a communal
Right.
like stuff so that people don't have to have as much stuff and they don't have to have as much money so that they can get
Yeah.
access to the stuff. It's a great place to get internet access if you can't afford that or don't want to mess with it. So being a librarian is all the things that go into providing those services, whether it's like buying the stuff or cataloging it to make sure that it's findable in like a giant set of other stuff.
Right.
It's providing programs and being like a third space. If you've ever
Yeah.
heard about
Yeah.
third
We
spaces,
love a third.
there
I
aren't
mean,
very many free ones anymore. Like
Yeah,
little coffee shops and
true.
places where you have to buy something to be in it that you don't really have to
Right.
do that in
Right.
a library. So lots of programs, lots of like maintaining spaces, like these lovely meeting rooms where
Right.
people
Right.
can get stuff done.
Mhm.
You know, that
Workshop.
kind of stuff. Yeah. And like providing information and helping people find the information and the entertainment that they're looking for. In that way, yeah, it's a dream job. Does my job involve a lot more just like chatting for 30 minutes with very lonely people? Yeah, more than I expected going
That
into it.
makes sense. I didn't
But-
think about
Therapist,
that.
part-time therapist.
Yeah, there is kind of an element of like, oh, I have like an audience right here. It's like, I'm interested in this book because let me tell you. And you're like, okay,
Do you buckle
I'll
in?
strap in. Yeah.
You just pour another cup of tea. You're like,
Right. Yeah.
I'm gonna continue.
But it makes it a great place for people watching.
Long live the libraries.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everyone
And it's always
get a card.
so fun to like get people in and start talking to them, that people who are like nervous about it. And a lot of times people are worried about looking stupid in front of people. So it's hard.
Yes,
It's so
I hate
fun.
learning
Yeah.
any new process. So
Yeah.
if I've never been into this library and I don't know where to get my card, I don't know where any of the books are, I don't know, is it okay to go at, like, I am one of those weirdos that like if a new procedure
Mhm.
freaks me out. So like a kindly librarian to be
Yeah.
like, you look lost. Can I help you? And I'm like,
So
I
true.
can't. Please help me. Okay, so this is your day job.
Yes.
Let us talk about writing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And let us talk about how you found the DFW Writers Workshop.
Yeah. So I always wanted to write, even as a kid. I loved storytelling. If I'm being totally honest, I'm pretty sure I was trying to think about it earlier. Like, when did I decide I wanted to be a writer? And honestly, I think that like my second grade teacher told me I was good at it. And I was like, external praise. This is my identity now.
Take it,
Yeah.
wear it.
Yeah.
Remember that, teachers.
Yeah, your words have power.
Right.
External.
Yeah. If I'm
I
being
love
I'm pretty
that.
sure that's when I decided.
Listen, we all love compliments. There's no
Yeah,
shame in the game.
1,000%.
And she was right. You are good at it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
Way too good. It's way too good.
But so but I remember like growing up in elementary school, like writing little stories and like on my parents' computer, which was like old, like command line startup, like black screen, green words, like Matrix style, like that kind of thing. I remember writing on one of those bad boys. And I remember it was something about a princess and a troll. I don't remember what was going on, but
Star-crossed lover.
Spicy.
I just remember writing and thinking, oh my God, I wonder what's going to happen next. Like I was reading it as I was like writing.
You were surprising
It was just
yourself.
so-
You were so into it.
100%. And so I feel like I've just spent the rest of my life chasing whatever that was.
Oh, I love how you fell in love with it so young. Because
I
that is
know.
the best feeling when
Right?
you're like,
Yeah.
you just realize that your brain can make it up on the spot, and you're like, what am I going to
You're
do
like, oh my
next?
God.
Yeah. It's just
Amazing.
How did I think
Yeah.
of that? I don't know.
Right. It's just way more pure before you get into like, oh, what will other people think of this? The way I understood it, you write a book, it takes 3 days, maybe. And then you become rich and famous and just write more books to stay rich and famous. And that's how that
Of
works.
course.
I assume that's what Stephen King did. And that is what I was going to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's exactly how it works.
It was my
Right.
favorite. I love it.
Oh my gosh.
But like, I feel like even like into my 20s, I didn't really think about writing as something you did with other people's input. I I thought, you really don't show anybody anything until it's finished. I thought that editors were just to like check your spelling and your commas,
Yes,
like
yeah.
like that's that
Yeah.
that was it. And otherwise
Uh-huh.
it needed to come straight out of your own brain.
Mm-hmm.
And so wasn't until now Dan Hoff, who you have already
Right on the
spoken
podcast.
to,
We talk about her often.
right?
Y'all been friends
Yeah.
since
What is it
second
called?
grade, basically.
Yes, we've been friends since second grade. And she started coming to the DFW Writers Workshop way before I did. And so she was always trying to get me to come around as well. I came and visited one time and it was so intimidating. It freaked me out. I know who I think it was in my head, but I didn't actually know anybody. But I'm pretty sure I was sitting in on a room and in my headcanon, it was Bartell was reading an absolutely hysterical story, something about nuns. That's all I got.
Sounds like Bartell.
The whole room was rolling. It was so funny. And then as critiques were going, I think it was Harry, right? He was like, I don't understand this. I don't understand, like, but and just ripped into it. And so if I had been a seasoned workshop person, I would have understood, okay, it wasn't for him. That's fine. My little brain was like, I didn't know it could be like this. This is terrifying.
Vicious.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So that kind of put me off of the whole thing for a while.
Came
Writers'
back.
Work. I came back, not as
Yes.
scary as it seemed initially.
Do you feel like your writing has evolved since joining? And how so? Like, do you feel like, because like I feel like I can see a definite change, and it's not really in like the voice or even like what I'm choosing to write, but it's just like I'll hear like little voices, or I'll hear Dan Hoff, or I'll hear like, you know what I mean? Like I'll hear
Yeah.
it like as I'm writing.
Mhm.
Do you feel like that's happened within your own writing?
Oh, for sure. So definitely one of the great things about hanging out with other writers is that they have probably also been reading tons of books about writing. So you get that much more like writerly advice and that kind of thing where they'll say, oh, I read this thing and they suggested this. I'm like, oh, okay, that does make a lot more sense. And so you get kind of other people's gained knowledge just from discussion and that kind of thing. It also exposes you to a whole bunch of different kinds of writing. So like when you've got a writing group of 4 people, and especially if like even 2 of you write the same thing, you're going to be looking at something through a much narrower lens. Whereas on a workshop night, you're going to be in a room with someone who's written poems and someone who's writing a Western and someone who's writing a sexy thriller and all of these different things. And you have to like, oh, but Lauren, I don't read sexy thrillers. I don't want to listen to this. You're like, tough. We're going to get, we're going to get in the nitty gritty. And as you're listening to it, you think, okay, well, I want to be helpful to this person. I want to critique them
Right.
and give them something that they can use. And it's not useful to say, I read sexy thrillers, not for
No.
me, and just like sit back and peace out for 20 minutes. And it's also not useful to say, boring. Like that's
Right.
not,
Well, so it becomes a challenge in and of itself to learn
Yeah.
things like that kind of span genre
yeah,
to then be able to give useful advice to somebody. And then I think it helps in your own writing when you're able to pick that stuff
Right.
out in others. And you're like, you know what? This is why the pacing was really good in that sexy thriller that I don't write.
Right.
What was it about it? Was it the short sentences? What is so like
Yeah,
you're able to do
that's
some
exactly-
like reflection-ish?
yeah, that's
Yeah.
exactly it. Because you're sitting there listening, you're like, man, I wish this was over. And like, well, why do I wish that it was over? Because if we're being honest, well, I guess, okay, I won't speak for everybody.
No, yeah, be honest. Be
Speak
honest.
for
Yeah.
everyone.
Isn't, even if there are genres that you don't normally enjoy, I bet you can think of at least one book in that genre that absolutely blew your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's always some, so it's not the genre that's turning you off. It's
Right.
something about the writing. So
Yeah.
if you're listening to someone and you're like, ugh, and you're just trying not to fall asleep, you're like, okay, why did this stop working for me? Or maybe it starts off really dull, but then something gets you excited. You're like, okay, what was the thing that caught my attention and why did that work for me? And then and maybe because I'm a people pleaser, that's why this works so great for me, because I'm like, I want to give these people good feedback.
So
And then,
I
will find the feedback.
yeah. And then on the weekend, I go home and start writing. And I'm like, oh, I'm doing the thing. So it's definitely helped in like little ways. And it's definitely helped to, I think, almost like improve my intuition about when something is getting boring, or like, I feel like I'm a better reader of my own stuff because I've listened and tried to critique other
Because when
people's.
you've heard a bunch of boring stuff at some point, you look at your stuff and you're like,
I'm bored. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
doing it. Like, oh, I'm doing what they're doing.
Especially when you're reading through and you're like, because you start off hot and you're like, oh, I'm doing great.
Right.
And you're like, so speaking about,
Yeah, I think we should get into this story that made people howl with laughter.
Okay. I'm trying to think of should we just summarize a little bit, or do you want to
Yeah.
summarize just like,
Okay,
Sure.
imagine, you're
you're sitting like that's
a
what we just
workshop.
discussed that you
Yeah.
doing it. We're going to put you on the spot with a camera and a microphone and say,
Yeah.
summarize this little
But
short.
it's a little easier with a short story.
Yeah.
hopefully.
And this is like a
Yeah.
whole piece. Okay. So the backstory for me when I was writing this was I have kind of an ambivalent relationship with romance in books. It's not usually what I'm looking for. I really love a rom-com. And when I love one, I love it. But a lot of times, like the middle of the road stuff, this stuff that, when I'm reading a fantasy or a sci-fi book, I'm like, this is okay, but I'm having a good time. When I'm reading a middle of the road, like romance, like what is happening? So I just read a book that, because every March, my friend and I celebrate Mad for Plaid. So we read a Highland romance.
I was like,
in honor.
what is Mad for?
Yes,
Yeah,
you
Mad for
do.
Plaid. I think we made it up, or we found it in a giant book of like a bajillion holidays that no one's ever heard of. But anyway, we do Mad for
Scottish
Plaid every
magic. I love
yeah.
it. Okay.
And so this book was full of just weird tonal shifts, because in a romance it's all about like the push and pull, the will they will, and then building that tension. But then as a romance reader, you want the tension, but you also just want them to get there. And so this book was full of really weird, it was like a Regency something or other. And it was like they're sitting in a piano recital and he caught a whiff of her perfume and now he's rock hard thinking about it boobs. I was like, we're in a piano. There's a 12-year-old playing for Elise. What are you doing?
Musicians.
It's just, I felt like this book was full of them. And so,
Okay.
so
Drop the name of the book.
I was like, what if I wrote a story about two people on a very benign, like first date, but who are plagued with a very horny narrator? So that's what this is. It's two people, they meet for a blind date at the Love Struck Bistro. And as soon as they sit down, they start hearing a narrator, a la like Stranger Than Fiction. And she's ready to go. And they're like, we literally just met. Can you relax, please?
Chill out, boy.
Yes.
Okay. That was a perfect intro. So I think that of course she gives us something that is very difficult to critique because it's I think it's pretty darn close to
so good.
being finished and perfect. So,
so like, here's the question that I asked y'all when I sent it to you. Because I like it and I think that it's fun, and maybe this is just because I'm too close to it, but it comes off by the end, I feel a little mean about it. And so I wanted to see if there was a way to like up I thought it would be fun if at the same time that this woman is looking for a horny romance, they're getting like just that little meet cute. I just want like the little glimmer.
Yeah.
So I wasn't sure if it was coming through. So I was asking, like, is there a way for
I think that there is an opportunity at the beginning, because as soon as she comes in, okay, so we think he's just like awkward as hell, and that works so well because you're like, oh god, he's just nervous, he's talking to random people. But almost as soon as she sits down, the abs and the rivulets and she's talking about, and she immediately like, who said that?
Mhm.
I think you can build in a few beats back and forth of like adorable, cutesy talk back and forth there
Mhm.
so that you can
Between the two characters.
right where it's like,
Oh,
oh, like
okay.
this is going well.
Yeah.
And then have the app, because I still think the app thing is the segue to her being like, what's
Yeah.
that noise? Who said that?
Mhm.
So I think that you can give them like a cute, meet cute.
They
Like
can have a
I
moment
think they
before
can
she
have
intrudes
some more
again.
banter. Maybe they still hear it and they're like, "Hmm, that was like maybe like
Mhm.
maybe it's like a strange look that she get like because kind of how the
Okay.
woman at the table next to them is like it's like
Mhm.
okay, good luck. Like
Yeah.
she's like, what is he
Mhm.
talking about? I think that that would be a good opportunity. But I think the setup is so funny. And
Mhm.
one of the things I wrote is that I felt super fulfilled by the ending, even though I did not know the answer. Like I didn't know why or who this person was. I didn't
Mhm.
there was no I was no closer to understanding what this
Right.
voice
Yeah.
was, but I still
We
felt
don't explain it.
but
We
I
just
but I
But the love struck Easter was magical.
but like I felt like I mean Buffalo Plaid. I love all these hot people at this
Right.
bar.
Yes.
It
That's
was
fun.
still super fulfilling, and I'm like, that's so
I
hard to
agree.
do because I'm one of those people. I'm like, no, I mean, I'm a romance writer, so everything has to have an explanation and be tied up with a bow. But you did a great job of just ending it in this like, nope, you don't get to know.
Mhm.
But they're
But it's still happening.
and exactly. I also think when they're actually talking back and forth, they have like a stretch of dialogue and when they're dialoguing, the voice like disappears. And I thought it would be an interesting thing instead of them talking about who's saying it. I was like, what if instead they start bonding over this idea that they can't use this as a party trick because nobody will believe them, how they're the only two people in the world that would do it. And if they start riffing back and forth in like a cutesy way, having one of them realize like, hey, she shuts up when we talk. So like this idea that like dialogue like
That's
shuts
clever.
up the voice, I feel like could also maybe
So
bond them a little bit so that you could get a little more time for banter in between her.
Okay.
Cute
That
kind
was
of stuff
So
along, yeah.
I did have, I'll have to send you, there's in a previous version, I cut it out for the one that I sent y'all. But in the previous version, I had a moment where they're like, she doesn't talk while we're talking. Maybe if we just don't ever stop talking, it'll be fine. So it's just them going back and forth. Rapid fire.
This is what I wrote because it made me laugh out loud. I'd like them to realize the voice shuts up when they have dialogue and maybe she'll just keep talking. Maybe if we just keep talking, she'll get bored. And then I wrote, but every conversation has a lull. And the narrator just like eventually like her kind
Yeah.
of edit and being like, oh my God, we can't even play the narrator.
Okay, see, I cut it because I felt like the pace felt off, or maybe their dialogue just wasn't it. Because so I
quick,
had them like
Yeah, I think
going
that's
back and
important.
forth, and then she switches to summary because she's bored. So she's like, so it's just her like they kept talking about boring stuff that no one's interested in until they finally got bored with themselves.
Nobody took their shit
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me if this was intentional or if this was just like how I read it. Like it's me, I'm dumb dumb. Okay, so at the beginning, when she gets there and she starts having the thoughts, I'm like, okay, I thought that he was hearing like her thoughts specifically, like he's inside of her head and it was only her thoughts. And then I go back and reread the beginning and I was like, oh, her beginning is so clever because right at the beginning you have the narrator talking, but for some reason I read it as like his internal,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So intentional, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah,
right. That was just very well done because I had to go back and I was like, wait a minute, because I was like, oh, hee hee ha ha, like
Yeah.
I was like, we can hear her thoughts only, I think is what I thought. And then as
Oh.
you kept going and you realize like they're both hearing, I was like, wait, we must go back.
Yeah,
We must
so
go back.
this is why it's very tricky. This is why I was having so much trouble trying to figure out how to make a meet cute for them because basically
Mhm.
it has to happen through dialogue,
Right.
Yeah.
and like action tags because you're like everything
Mhm.
that happens in the narrators, everything that happens in narration has to be through the narrator's like unhinged perspective.
Yes.
So it does shift, and this was that first night that I brought it, even though everybody loved it, they did say like I'm leaning into some intentionally obnoxious or less than stellar like writing things. Like I switch perspectives without really explaining it. I
Mhm.
do there are a couple there's like some very cliched stuff that happens toward the beginning. And it was really, and I remember getting the comment that like, I see now that you're being satirical, but after a couple paragraphs of bad writing, like you're in danger of losing your audience. And so it was even, I could see it as it was when I was reading it. It was the craziest thing was because I could see people with their little notepads writing down all, like every time I got to something that I was about to make fun of, here they come. And then after I got to the end of the first page, like the pens went down. I was like, oh, she's doing a bit.
No, I literally I love the satire of romance and like I just like, because writing romance is bizarre.
Yeah.
Like it's bizarre. So like I forgave you of all anything.
Okay.
It didn't even like catch me up because I was
great.
so
Same. I also like wonder if their confusion was just from hearing it, because I'm like, I feel like you have to read it on the page to see the way like the narrator's thoughts are formatted. Otherwise, they might think it's his internal whatever. So that's also why I enjoyed like reading it and then going back over it and seeing literally how you wrote it. Like it was so well done. But I think
and then because like the narrator does not, it's hard because you start out trusting the narrator. You assume that you're getting a real thing, but then it becomes clear, oh, she's just making things up, trying to get, they're like, no, that's not like, my mom's not dead. She lives in Milwaukee. Like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
She's like my dentist.
That I love that part.
Yeah,
I love that part. I also I love the concept of these two people going on a blind date, meeting for the first time, being immediately embarrassed because that's such like a bonding experience. So I feel like that in and of itself lends so much chemistry to like they're going through a humiliating experience
they're
together.
Bonding over like this is only we will have this experience to share. Like nobody would believe us because we'd be crazy. And then I think that's always like an interesting jumping off point for people to be like, we're trauma bonded.
Yeah,
now.
they're trauma bonded.
So like let's ride off into the sunset together, or at least bang in the alley.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I know. I also love how they both deflect with humor. Like whenever the narrator talks about them going, like, well, they come back in here to have bathroom sex. Also, that line, I wish I had it like written out here. It was, I think I put this is Pulitzer worthy in my comments. Like, it was so good. It was so good. But I love how they both immediately, like, to your point of trying to achieve the tonal shift, like I totally see how like that being your intention drove so many of the choices. Because at first I was like, well, would they like maybe go back and forth a little bit more, like trying to be like, oh my gosh, no, like we don't want to do that. But instead they both like make a joke out of it and deflect with humor. So I'm like, oh, they have so much in common. Like,
even with their roses, when they're like awkwardly like exchanging roses, I'm like, weirdo.
That was the other thing you did so well. I was like, right from the jump, I was like, oh, this date's gonna go horrible because this guy's so weird. And then she gets there and I was like, oh, they're both so weird. Like, I totally thought it was gonna be not cute, that it was.
At the start of him being just awkward, like it was so perfect because I was like,
yeah,
so funny,
so good. Yeah, but I wouldn't be afraid to like add a little bit more dialogue,
I think
more
you have-
banter.
it's short. I think
Yeah.
and it's still. I think you could add some and still keep it flash.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's
Well,
just-
I'll send you an older version and
need to
to
add
show
that
you the
part back.
chunks that
like, add the
I
chunks
took out. There's
Yeah.
like, where's like,
Because it's really
here's what
tight,
I
like
wasn't sure
7
about.
pages.
Yeah, it's real.
And most of that's dialogue. So
I'm always, see, this is something else that I do is like, even like in conversation, as soon as I start talking, I'm like, I don't want to hear the rest of this. Wrap it up.
you self-edit as you speak.
Yeah.
Wrap it up.
I think probably there's a lot of ADHD in my family. So I'm like, I've only got 10 seconds. So let's go.
Honestly, same. I'm having self-realizations now.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's, I think, well, I also think too, the more you can, like, I think pacing means so much to us little ADHD fairies and like keeping our attention, having our attention. It's like, we're going to take your attention because we don't know how long we have. Because we don't know how long we have.
Right.
So I think, but then sometimes that's, I mean, how many notes have we been giving lately where we're like, you could slow that down. And we're like,
Like,
sure.
are you sure? You might lose my attention
Right.
on my own stuff. I'm going, I'm bored.
Yeah,
Let's
and that's
move
what
on.
I noticed it in my writing too, where I'm like, okay, we got it. Let's move on to
Yeah.
the next thing. And
No,
I'm
it
like,
was
and then I read
so
stuff and
fast.
I'm like, oh, this needs room to breathe. But I can't
Mhm.
tell with my own stuff.
It feels like everything from like the Dan moment until they're about to get up out of the restaurant, you can add a little bit
Oh, okay.
more.
Great.
Mhm.
Okay.
To add to our point that like Laura's so brilliant, I like had these notes like trying to come up with like ideas and feedback. 'Cause that's
Mhm.
what you do when people ask for critiques. And then I like thought about it and I took more notes and I was like, I'm just contradicting what I said before because I was like, because actually, now that I think about it, no, like I was grasping at straws.
We were actually like, damn you, Laura.
I said like this, like
Damn you on your smart brain.
yes,
I was like,
which I feel like is something you do short stories well, and you do twists in your short stories
Okay.
well.
Good.
Like no surprise there,
That's
but I was just like, dang you,
no, the
girl.
humor, but also like turns of phrase and like even
So
even
funny.
like the chair being pulled and
Oh,
like,
the one at the-
violin strings. It's just
I
like,
almost got that. I was like, why am I so dumb? Yeah.
no.
No, my favorite was something about how like Jesus couldn't save her now. Like, Caleb.
Oh my Caleb.
I was like, the way it landed was so.
Oh, I was
funny.
cackling outside for sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna read it again later and just be like,
Right.
so
Well, thanks
Yeah.
for coming on and
Yeah,
sharing
thank
your story
you.
with us.
are you gonna try? Okay, we're ahead of Valentine's Day, so I'm like, are you gonna submit this somewhere for like a Valentine
I
something?
should. So I heard it. So I don't know if this is true because I know diddly about actual publishing, but I heard that you
Okay.
want to submit like about 6 months ahead
Oh, the month.
of
the
yeah,
end.
Really?
so that like
Maybe for next year.
yeah. So I'm like, okay, I got to get
She's
this.
got 8 months.
Yeah. Perfect.
Sit on it.
Exactly what she needed. Yeah.
Midsummer, sit down in this
Yeah.
puppy and shoot it out.
So so that's what I'm thinking. I was like, I need to work on because here's the problem. I don't finish things at all. I have so
I've heard a discussion or two in one of our smaller writing groups. So I may have
that
may have
is
heard that.
yeah. So this is I don't finish them because two, I'm like, okay, same story, but what if it was told from a 12-year-old girl's perspective? And actually now she's the main character and the people who were the main character are parents. And this is what's happening now. And now it's sad.
Tonal shift.
And they're like, nope, okay, let's try a third one. Stop it. At one point,
Right.
Dan Hoff was like, you could write a whole anthology of this one story that you have been trying to write. So yes, I'm definitely very guilty of that.
She
But so
caught
I was
me.
looking through, I decided 2026 is the year that I finish stuff.
Heyo.
So I was going through and I genuinely got about a dozen short stories in various states of finishedness. So yeah, so that I was like, I should be working on like Halloweeny type stuff right now so that I can submit. But I also don't know if it's true. So I should probably check
Look
that.
into it because
Yeah.
I mean, I think not that anything is ever like done, as we say, but I'm like, I think it's done. You could like
This
add a little
is
more feel like it.
doable, I
Oh,
suppose.
but this is 100%, in my very professional opinion, publishable.
We're
As
wearing
someone who's neither
glasses.
published nor publishing.
We're wearing glasses, so you know you can trust us.
And mine are blue light glasses. They don't even help me see. In fact, they're kind of obstructing my vision.
You did not have to disclose that.
I talk
But
about
you
this
know
with my
Hashtag honesty.
She's here for the truth.
So, yes, exactly. I also have a chronic need. This is so
Bring it. You have to say it.
okay. So, I'm not really like a ginger, but I like dye my hair red. But all the time people will be like people are usually surprised that it's not real. And I have like a compulsion if someone compliments my hair, even in passing on the street, I tell them it's fake. So I can be a stranger at the grocery store and the old lady's like, oh, hon, you have such a pretty hair color. I'm like, thank you, it's not real.
This is like when people say, I love your shirt. And you're like, thanks, I got it on sale.
And they're like,
And anytime somebody is like, oh my God, you look so good. I'm like, yeah, I have tons of Botox in my forehead. I literally can't not.
why
tell
do
them.
we do this?
I don't.
It's a compulsion.
I also feel like too, there's nothing worse than looking on the internet and seeing somebody who's like gorgeous and has had all of these things done, and it's
It's just
like
I woke up like
this
this.
is natural.
True.
I actually
Yeah.
take a green juice every day, and you're like, no, you spend
I don't.
$2,000 on hair extensions, lash extensions, Botox, lip filler. So I
It
just feel
works.
the need to like anytime. It's like, thank you, I appreciate that. Also,
Yeah, thank you, I bought it.
Thank you. I put a lot of money into this. And I'm glad it's working.
Exactly.
It has paid off. Money well spent.
This podcast is turning to confessions nobody asked.
So rapid fire.
Confessions.
Do we even need rapid fire?
I don't know. I need to ask my spicy question.
Do you want that
Back
to be our first
to-
rapid fire?
I think so. Okay. Since you are a legit librarian,
It's
I
true,
want
I am.
your informed, educated opinion.
Mhm.
Do audiobooks count as reading? Why or why not? Give us your take.
I would love for anyone to explain to me the version of the world in which audiobooks don't count.
Okay.
This
Tell
makes
us
me
why.
Insert the Meryl
So-
Streep clapping right now. Yes.
It makes me so crazy. I don't.
Tell me why.
It's the exact same. You're getting the exact same words in the exact same order. You're just using your ears instead of your eyes.
Okay.
How is that not the same?
Yeah.
If I told you that my friend in a wheelchair ran a marathon, you were like, did he though?
You would be a turd.
Stop being ridiculous. And similarly, if I told you,
a semantics thing, you feel like why are we getting hung up
Well,
on
didn't
it?
Harvard, some fancy school did a study recently about what an audiobook does to your brain versus a book, and it literally lights up the exact same receptors in your
Things.
brain and your memory, like all of it. Like it does the same things.
yeah, and even if we didn't have science to back it up, which we do, like what I told you that I just finished reading Twilight,
Mhm.
and you were like,
Hell yeah.
and you're like, I love that book. And I said, the audiobook is great. And you're like, sorry, I would love to talk with you about it if you'd read it.
That would be
Insanity.
so insane.
Yeah.
Crazy. Twilight is back on HBO for anybody who needs to watch it.
Yes.
All 5 there for you. But yes,
And
okay.
it's for the record,
The same thing. Are you going to tell a blind person that they've never read a book because they just read audiobooks? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
You can, if we can discuss it, it just irritates me.
No, but that's why I wanted to ask you. I knew you'd have
If-
a spicy take.
If the question is like, did you engage with this story and can we engage now
Mhm.
about this story? Then you have read it. If that's what we mean by read it.
Mhm.
If that's not what you mean, then you're asking like, have you engaged in ocular exercises today? Who cares? I don't want to know. I was like, oh, did you use your eyes today? Good job. Like, check the box.
Mhm.
Okay. But I want to talk about the things that happened in the book.
Right.
And if you can do that, if you've listened to the audiobook or read it with your eyes, we can do that.
Yeah.
We can do that
We
together.
can-
I was about to sing a High School Musical
We
song,
can
and then
be
I
together. What were you gonna sing?
it's okay. It doesn't
Change your
matter.
mind?
Well,
Back
y'all
out
haven't
it.
have y'all seen High School Musical?
I mean,
No,
I'm
of
a little
course.
I
It's
haven't. I'm
okay.
sorry. Yeah, I just missed it. I'm sorry. I want to be there for
then
you, but I
Zac
can't.
Efron.
Oh,
Love
don't
it.
we all?
Love an Ashley Tisdale moment.
Oh my gosh, Ashley Tisdale is beefing with her mom group. Did you hear? We'll talk about this after.
Ooh.
World's worst, most unimportant news. But thank you for that.
You're
I love the way
welcome.
you explained it because I have heard, like, admittedly, what I feel like are compelling points on both sides. So I was like, I want to hear an educated take. And
Yeah,
your
I mean,
educated
just
take
like-
makes sense.
But it's cheating because you can do something else at the same time.
Definitely
No,
not.
there's definitely, and a lot of times I absorb something better if I'm like doing dishes or something. If I'm doing something with my hands that doesn't require my brain, I'll hear it better than if I'm sitting down and making myself read something, but I don't like I'm fidgety and I
Yeah.
want to move around.
Your mind can totally wander even while you're
Yeah.
reading.
It's the
on
only
the
way I get
page.
through nonfiction too, because
An
I'm
audiobook, yeah.
interested, but then like I sit down to read it and I'm like, nah.
Yeah, right.
But then you hear a memoir read by the person and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
tell me your story. It's like being told a story.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's like sitting around a campfire. So were those not stories? Like,
Right, exactly. If someone is performing a spoken word poem, is it not poetry? Like, what are you doing?
get out of here.
Yeah.
This is gonna be our best clip from this episode. 100%.
Add it to social, baby.
Okay, well now that we're all like riling up on our
Fired up.
opinions, yeah, we have
Okay.
some rapid fire questions.
Okay.
Okay. You can go first. We'll go on a line, starting
Okay.
with Laura. What's a book you love that you think doesn't get enough hype or didn't get enough hype?
Okay, I 100% meant to double check how to say her name, and then I didn't. So if I get it wrong, I apologize. This is one of my favorite. It's 2 a.m. at the Cat's Pajamas by Mary Helene Bertino.
I love that title.
It's it's like contemporary, and it's in New York City, and it's on Christmas Eve. I think it's been a long time since I read it, but this book, it follows several different characters, and they're all like striving to get something that they want, but she just does magic. The way that she describes something. But yes, 2 a.m. at the Cat's Pajamas by Mary Helen
I
Bertino.
love
Do it. If you're looking for a fun, like, Christmas read, like a holiday read that's not schmaltzy, it's so tender and like,
Good word.
it's so good. It just,
Mhm.
it makes your heart feel tender, and you're like, you're just like connected to the universe and the world. Yeah.
Sometimes.
100%. Yeah.
Sometimes not too much.
Sometimes it's not great. Yeah. Sometimes you feel too much.
Too intense.
I don't want to feel too much. 2 a.m. to Cat's Pajamas. Okay. This one I wouldn't say, like, it's definitely gotten hype, but the one I could think of from recent history that I was like, I haven't seen enough people talking about it was I Hope This Finds You Well by Natalie Sue, especially because
Tremendous.
debut, I'm 99%
Yes,
sure it was her debut.
She's got a new one coming out.
Yes, we're so excited for her. Phenomenal debut, hilarious. That's all I can say.
A delight.
Get it and read it.
Okay, so I wrote Anything by Ian Reid. He has 3 books out so far. All of his books, I think, or at least 2 of the 3 have been turned into movies. He's doing fine. But like,
He needs the Witches of Workshop.
but I don't understand why people are not like, it is the weirdest, creepiest, spookiest, best. It's so good. And the way he uses writing and words as a tool, it's so weird.
We love
And
it.
I'm like, it's quirky, but it's also like it's one of those books that you finish reading and like 6 weeks later you're like, because he has one called I'm Thinking of Ending Things, We Spread, and then Foe. And it's just like he uses really, like, there's like the punctuation in some of the books is really weird and wacky. So it's like almost like installation-y. Ian Reid.
It sticks with you.
It does. It's definitely, yeah, some creepy stuff, but so good. Okay.
I'm gonna add it to my Goodreads now that I'm using that.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. Okay. Favorite book to movie adaptation?
Princess Bride.
Yes.
I double checked to make sure that the book came out after the movie, because I was not around in the 70s. So I experienced the movie first and then read the book in college, I think. But it's just because he wrote the book and the movie himself. So it's interesting, I think, to see, because we know that I love a theme and variation. I love to take something and then do it again. So
Change this up one more time.
Yeah.
So I love seeing how he switched it, how he William Goldman changed it in the movie, the stuff that he took out and the stuff that he left.
Yes.
And both of them are just, even if you just had the one, it's just so fun.
It's so
Right. But we have 2. And we should.
And they're different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are. They're very different.
Okay, Princess Bride has been one of my favorite movies since I was a kid. And can I tell you that obviously as like a little kid, I didn't understand any of the satire. I was just like,
For sure.
this is like the hottest romance that ever romance. Like,
I mean, Leslie is.
I mean, he's still.
We wrote much of our
Come on,
DNA.
yes.
Like as children, you're
But I
like,
was like, this is peak.
Yeah.
And it is peak. But like, then I grew up and I appreciated different things about the story. And I was like, okay. So I love. Also, I'm gonna amend my answer from what I wrote down earlier, because I was thinking, like, what is like a perfect movie adaptation, in my opinion, where I have no notes.
Yeah.
perfect. Go on.
My opinion. That's my opinion.
Controversial.
The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe movie.
Oh.
So stinking good.
Which version?
Okay.
There's 8 million.
As
the
not
rest
the
of them.
not the BBC,
Okay.
which I did love as a kid.
Like
I think it came out in like 2004 or 5.
Okay.
the most
Yeah.
recent.
The most recent, because it probably also is like
James
oh
McAvoy.
yes,
Yes.
yes.
Also
way too hot. I know. And what's her name who played the White Witch so good? Yeah, she was
so
perfectly
crazy
casted.
and perfect.
It was just so well cast. Well, it's also just such a core memory because I think I had just read that book shortly before the movie came out because I was in elementary school or whatever. So then I was super excited and I was like, this is exactly how I imagined it.
Oh, yeah.
But all that said, I do trust that whatever Greta Gerwig is about to do with Chronicles of Narnia, did you know about this?
I did not know about this.
Yeah, she's doing something. I trust her, but I'm also conflicted because I'm like, the original, specifically Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, is perfect. So no freaking no. But yes.
Okay, I did the Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Pie Society because the book is magical, all written in letters back and forth. And I think the way that they transformed it to me, it is one of my top 3 going to bed movies because I feel so comforted when I watch it.
Yeah.
That I'm just like, it's like a hug.
Yeah.
And I think it's well acted, well cast, well done, well written. It makes me cry every time. It's
Comfort movie.
So good.
The vibes are matching.
Okay. If you could travel anywhere in the world to write, where would you go?
Okay, so I think I wrote down. So I just finished reading Snake Eater by T. Kingfisher, which I loved. I love pretty much anything T. Kingfisher does, but this one, it takes place in like this tiny little dusty town, which I think was in Arizona, but I don't 100% remember. So don't quote me on that part.
Fair.
But in the Southwest, tiny little town that's like been declared like a historic town, so that they can't really do
Change
anything,
right?
Yeah. But that doesn't really have to do with the main plot of the story. But so it takes place in this little bitty town that's kind of in the middle of nowhere, and the main character ends up in this little house that's like backed up on the desert. So it's like little house, solitude. She's got her dog, and just a very simple, like, she doesn't have to hustle and find a job, which is good because there really aren't any in this place.
Right.
But they were like, everyone there is like, oh man, I made extra tamales. Do you want this? Poor woman that, yeah.
And there's just
So,
are there like tumbleweeds going by? Or
oh,
they,
for
like,
sure.
sit on your rocking chair. So you want to be hot.
I don't. So that's the thing is I don't want to be
my
hot.
nightmare. What
But
you're describing, by
here's
the way.
what
Continue.
what I loved about it was the like
The solitude.
a solitude and like being right up against nature, but at the same time having like, after she'd had enough alone time, she would go into town and like talk to the priest or like hang out at the general store and see what was going on there. And so like it was just like a nice balance between solitude and nature and a little group of weirdos. I think that's what I want. Yeah, just to cleanse each of them cleanses the palate of the other.
Oh, another Pulitzer line.
There you go.
That's how she got it. In my scenario, I am disgustingly wealthy, I guess, because I was like, well, of course, I'm going to go to an old cottage in the Scottish countryside where I've got a wood-burning fire.
Yeah.
Brought my cats with me.
Good.
Shout out Beatrice and Mango. Beatrice, who I almost renamed Legume. It doesn't matter. And it's drizzly. I'm like drizzly, cold. Yes. But I like your vibe also that like you're near a town so that you can get to know the local establishment. But
you're also like walking through the moors to the local pub at night to get shepherd's pie and get caught up on
I want to be Marianne in Sense and Sensibility, catching a cold every night because I have to go walk 10 miles in the rain. And then
fell over. Why is she always tripping? Okay, I just
purposely catching a cold.
God, Mary Ann, stay inside. It is going to rain.
Yeah.
Somewhere snowy for sure. And I just found out I am going to Canada. I'm going to Canada the week of my birthday.
Oh my gosh!
So I'm gonna be in snow heaven.
I just know where, like, what kind of place you're staying in?
Because the husband works for the airlines, we have alternate routes in case flights are bad places.
Nice.
But it's looking like Calgary to Banff.
Ooh.
About to experience it.
This podcast is sponsored by I'm just kidding.
Banff and Marianne catching colds.
Marianne, thanks
Sponsored by Marianne. Someone help that poor girl.
No, you always say that, and then it always wraps. You always say that.
Oh god, what about a perfect book to movie adaptation?
Oh, there you go.
Emily, oh my god, what a great job! And then her acceptance speech for adaptation is the best thing ever. If you've never seen Emma Thompson's acceptance speech for the adaptation of the screenplay, she does it as what Jane Austen would think about an award ceremony, and it is the fun. It's just like you are the cleverest, most goodest girl, and I love you.
She was perfectly casted.
Perfect,
No,
Eleanor.
and thank you so much for coming on.
for having
Such a
me.
delight. We look forward to what you'll write next.
Yes,
Me
You read
too.
so much.
yeah.
She's like, I got
And
surprised
you know what?
myself.
We're gonna accountability buddy. We're gonna check in on
Right.
you now.
We're like,
Yeah.
Did you finish? Yeah, since you told us your goal.
This
Now
is-
it's codified on Witches in the
Yeah,
Workshop.
it's official.
It's memorialized.
It's out
so
there in the
end of the
world.
year we'll be like,
Okay.
and did you finish it? Well, till next time.
Yeah, friends. Bye.
This has been the Witches in the Workshop. Sponsored by
Sponsored by Spiraling
and Marianne
and Marianne Philippa. Okay, we'll see you next time.
Thank you so much for listening to Witches of Workshop. Be sure to find us every Wednesday on your favorite podcast platform.
And remember, if you want to be featured on Witches of Workshop, please send 1 to 10 pages and a synopsis to witchesofworkshop@gmail.com.
Until then,
Happy writing.